and welcome twitch.tv/Bossa Studios. My name is Colm and for this week's broadcast I have the wonderfully bearded Jon Betts.
Hey guys.
So Jon, you are the concept artist for Worlds Adrift, and we're going to be getting into some very interesting concept art that you might, I mean, if you've been keeping up with the game, you probably do know about, but we're going to delve in a little bit deeper into it. But before we get on to that, I probably should say that if you are just stumbling across Worlds Adrift now, we are Bossa Studios, the makers of Surgeon Simulator, I Am Bread, and obviously the upcoming Worlds Adrift. If you are interested in Worlds Adrift, you can register your interest at worldsadrift.com/register, where you'll get access to the forums. You can read the weekly/fortnightly/whenever blogs. You can check out the Worlds Adrift show, trailers. You can create an emblem for your alliance. You can create an alliance. There's many things there, Jon. Too many that you can check out and have a look at Worlds Adrift wise. So if there's any issue with the sound or anything like that, let me know, because I have my trusty tablet here that can tell me as such. You can tell me the comments that you lovely people have. Let me see here. Good old Bossa Cork is in there manning the chat. So if you're a bold pup, as they would say where I'm from, he will give you a slap on the wrist. So coming in loud and clear. Beautiful. Right, Jon, let's delve deep into this. Wait till you get a load of this. Oh, look at that. Right. I'm intrigued, Jon. So, yeah, you're a concept artist for Worlds Adrift, as I previously said. Yep. And you've been working on a pistol, I believe.
So, yeah, for anyone who didn't tune in to the last time we did one of these about concept art, basically a concept artist is someone who kind of comes up with quick ideas, generally in 2D, using things like Photoshop, some 3D and things like that, but and come up with quick ideas that can quickly communicate to the rest of the team what you're designing, and people start conversations from that and move forward in the process. So yeah, exciting one. We've been recently working on some pistols.
So this, what are these? Are these in the game, or what? What am I looking at here? Are these like sketches, or
nothing's confirmed yet, as far as I know. But it was more of a test to see if we could create a style of pistol that would work with, the aesthetic of Worlds.
Right.
Because it's, I don't know, it has its own kind of vibe, and it's not like you could go in with some kind of Destiny-esque Killzone style futuristic.
I mean, that would probably be out of place.
Don't get me wrong, like, it could be kind of fun too. But yeah, it was very important that these things fit the style of the game. So
so is this you and maybe the art director kind of working through a couple of designs?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we even started with more thumbnail designs than this. These are, for anyone who's not too familiar with concept art, like, we refer to these as thumbnails. They're very small, really quick, and not too heavily focused on detail. It's more about the general read, the silhouette, cool shapes, and just looking for something kind of appealing. So we did a couple of sheets of these things, and the art directors picked a couple to move forward with.
How long does something like this take you? Like, say, just kind of sketching out these silhouettes?
Sure, I think the silhouettes are probably like a morning or so. Like
a morning? Jon, that would take me a lifetime out of time to do that. Very good.
Don't get me wrong. There's some cheats. Like, often what I might do is like take the grip of an existing gun design that I think is cool and try and redesign a body onto it, or potentially, like there's little things around, but like little tricks, but generally work from abstraction anyway, which kind of means generally creating a bunch of blobs on the page and kind of carving away at them until you get kind of nice shapes. So it kind of comes together quite quickly. And using plenty of reference as well, you know, like we were looking at lots of kind of like World War II weapons, even like as far back as old like flintlock kind of pirate style pistols, lots of things.
Were they the main two kind of inspirations?
Well, we wanted to kind of keep it in line with other technologies in Worlds. So generally it felt, I don't know, it felt more the direction to go with things like bolt action,
right?
Flintlock, single shot kind of things, rather than some kind of
semi-automatic,
rapid fire,
kind of,
semi-auto. Like we don't want these to, you know. I think there's got to be a degree of fairness, and by using those older technologies, like, kind of creates a slightly more balanced, well, hopefully create more of a balanced gameplay and not too kind of OP.
No, that's cool, and the general reception is seems to be quite cool as well. Everyone seems to be a lot of love for these guns.
Sweet.
Someone just said, Chris Lawle said, guns violence.
Indeed.
That's what.
Most definitely.
That's, I mean, yeah. So after sketching out all these designs, where do you go from there? Like, actually, I should say as well, any questions for Jon? Just general concept art questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Throw them our way, and hopefully Jon will be able to answer them. I'm sure he will, because he's the best concept artist in the world.
That's too
he
kind.
He holds the
the
Guinness World Record for concept arting in the quickest amount of time.
Don't Google it. It's not true.
So you've done all these sketches. What's the next step?
So the guys decided on a few designs that were cool, or sometimes they might even pick like elements of different ones, you know, like
the stock of
the
number 4
the barrel from this one, the grip from this, the trigger mechanism from this sort of thing. And then I would, once the guys have chosen those, I'd probably jump into something like this.
Okay. our adoring fans. But yeah, so is this...
Okay.
Well, this is kind of your starting point, just building the body of it, I suppose.
Let me try and find the original of this. I think I have one on here.
Or the actual kind of direct comparison in terms of the sketch?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a mixture of number 16 here.
Okay.
And a couple of these from the top. Oh, no, number 2. It's kind of number 2.
Oh, yeah.
So... Then I jumped into some 3D stuff and just like quickly cut up some other like royalty-free models. Just built some really basic geometry, some cylinders, just a shape, just to try and flesh out that shape a little bit based on the thumbnail as a starting point, and then I can light it and stuff like that, and just get a good read on that to start with.
So is this like to create? So is this actually from a 3D modelling program?
Yeah.
Rather than like, right, okay.
So I would take a quick render from that program. In this case I use Cinema 4D. I just like the interface, it's really simple to use. And I'm not the best with 3D, so it's a nice way just to kind of quickly jump in, throw around some shapes and stuff like that. So yeah, and then take a quick render and bring it over here. And it's still really, it's just a guide, it'll all change. So I'm going to just like run up through some layers and just like show you guys how it progresses for me from this point. Okay, let's go. So first just like toning it a little bit. I wanted this this sheet thing, I wanted this cover to feel like fabric. I wanted it to be like a leather or something eventually. So
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm starting just to smooth out that 3D stuff that sort of went wrong. You know, up here, just kind of you can see geometry building in there. So
is that actually that's from the 3D?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So you see me flatten that out and just start to add in some light. There you go. Okay, so
Oh,
I've like
okay,
sketched
yeah.
over it now at this point and just trying to...
So what have you... Because you've lightened the...
Just stripping details
Okay.
out of the 3D model that don't need to be there. Just trying to flesh out like the shape and of the grip and work out what's going on with this this cover over the top. I wanted it to almost feel like a waterproof pistol, like with some kind of like Rain Mac type thing over it.
The Colombo of guns.
Yeah.
There's a reference for you kids. Colombo.
Or the McLaren of gloves if you're a football fan.
Yeah.
Gloves? Guns?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so I'm just starting to add in some like little details. I'm going to run up kind of quick. 'Cause
Whoa,
stuff
okay.
changes quite fast.
So here's where you've kind of almost gone from a leather cover to a more...
Yeah, because at this point, you know, we're still just running off the thumbnail, and although it's giving us a good kind of silhouette and a general read, like, it's nice at this point to start kind of designing. So stuff will change. Like, I think it went through a few iterations even at this point, realistically. So, yeah, starting to just flesh that out, like, kind of adding some like strings, thinking about how this this leather kind of cover is going to fit on, you know, looking at these kind of toggles that you can kind of tighten up beneath the gun, and especially like, you know, Worlds is very physics based, so we like to add these like nice
I'm with you.
moving pieces that like will kind of move with the wind and things like that.
A bit more immersive,
absolutely,
if you will. Just one question here, John,
Sure
from Natany. 132. Although I remember the last time we did a Twitch stream, you told me to drop the numbers, so I will remember that. Natany said, "What drawing pad do you use?"
So for the longest time, actually, I used because I haven't been a concept artist that long, actually. So I just had a basic Wacom Bamboo. It's like the entry level Wacom tablet, and Wacom is generally the go-to. Although I think that's starting to change, but for now, that's the kind of brand to pick up. And then actually today, my art director gave me his old one, so I now have a little Intuos 3. So it's still an older model, but it's way better than what I had.
Just seeing, is there any other kind of questions? So the Ninjaneer enjoyed the Colombo reference, so yeah, well done. So you put those kind of little tassels, I don't know what you'd call them,
they pretty much are. Yeah, little toggle things. So I imagine these little pieces will slide up the strings and tighten the leather
cool.
wrap up. We'll just jump forward. I'm just starting to add in some lighting and just some definition, trying to find.
So that's purely lighting is what you've done there.
Yeah, a little design, looking at this kind of big shape up here as some kind of iron sight type thing. Okay. Oh yeah, we just drop on some like nice Cyborian kind of graphic. So it's sort of like implying it's almost like how would you say it, like carved in. Well, it wouldn't be carved. I don't know, like molded into the metal, like a kind of cool Cyborian sun pattern or something up here. Just to give it a little bit of that exotic flavour. So just started to tidy things up a little bit, add some.
So you just kind of
some holes into the leather and tears, and just make it cooler. Just defining that handle a little bit, like taking out those bumps. I wasn't really liking them, I don't think.
So is this a kind of, say for each layer now that you're turning on and off, is that a collaborative you going to
Not
James
really.
or art director, or is that just you playing around?
They kind of just want to see where you can take it, really. And I'll kind of drop in with them every sort of few hours. Sometimes, you know, not too much, and they'll just let me kind of go for it, and when they see the final, we'll talk about it then. But generally, like, it's nice. They trust me to kind of come up with cool stuff. I have a lot of freedom like that.
That's cool. You see here. No, there's just people just loving the guns.
Sweet. Well, I'll keep going.
Drifty Dusty says, "Dude, I have to say that pistol really came together. Looks like something I might find on Tatooine." Tatooine?
Cool.
Tatooine? Is it Tatooine? Tatooine.
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 Tatooine, Cole. Never. No, should I tell them? I don't know.
I mean, if you want.
Never seen Star Wars. Not one.
Nope. I've seen Face Off. I'm happy enough with that. Face Off. Star Wars.
I have seen Star Wars. Cole.
So, right, so you're after kind of. Yeah, I don't know what would you say.
So yeah, it's
shaving
kind of,
off the little bumps.
Exactly. So I'm just tidying it up and starting to add some colour onto that leather. And try and get. Here we go. Kind of starting to add some details. Like stitching in the leather and
just making it feel like I suppose it's cobbled together.
Slightly more like that kind of Bedouin
people you've set them off. Shocked and appalled, it seems. Yeah, I apologize. Blasphemy, says Tracerhead. Mothy Pants. Oh, he's a Trekkie. No, never seen any Star Trek either, I'm afraid. I told you, I've seen Face Off. But yeah, Cosmic Russell says, "Sorry I arrived late. What's the concept artist's name?" Well, it's Jon Betts. Where can people actually find you, John?
Oh man,
Find your work.
Yeah, just type Jonathan Betts into Google concept art or something, and you'll come up with different sources. Facebook, Twitter, portfolio stuff. DeviantArt, ArtStation, those kinds of places. So just type my name, and you'll find somewhere. It's generally personal work online somewhere, lots of sci-fi stuff and just stuff I like to do, really. So
cool.
Go and check it out. Yeah, definitely.
So we've added a bit of kind of stitching and detail there.
Just trying to kind of make it feel alive and sort of believable somewhat. So it's starting to add some graphics. I don't know if you guys can see, that's really faint. There's some red kind of Saborian inspired patterning kind of. Here we go. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying to work out. There we go.
Camouflagey, almost.
Well, kind of more just like, I don't know, I kind of imagine, was this at one point like a piece of clothing or a vest or something, or like part of something else that has now been kind of, fashioned into this makeshift cover for the gun, so maybe it had patterns from what it was formerly, I just wanted to kind of add a bit of that to it, really. I'll keep going up because I think there's a few layers where nothing really happens.
Right, just adding more detail to it and chipping away at it.
In fairness, we're basically there. So I'll show you the final. So this is how it kind of turned out, basically. I just dropped some lighting on it and made it a bit prettier.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
you've how long does a piece like that take?
It can depend, there was some, like you said before, sometimes you end up kind of chatting with the art directors and changing it quite a bit. I think this took about, I don't know, half a day or something, because you figured a lot of that out in your mind when you were doing the thumbnail designs early on, so it's kind of just making it nicer, and giving it some of the flavour and trying to make it fit in the game. But so maybe I don't know, half a day or something.
There's a lot of detail kind of going into that, like even the little kind of what would you call them? Little kind of frailed kind of little edges and things like that,
Yeah. I mean, let's take a look.
Like those little and the stitching. Is the stitching manual? Is that like are you drawing lines?
I just you can see in some of these lower bits where there's no lighting. It's literally just little just a simple paintbrush in Photoshop and just sketching them on, and then what you can do just to make that leather feel a little bit more believable is add these, I don't know if you guys can see it, but these like tiny little highlights to the top surfaces, just where things might reflect a bit, and it just kind of adds a bit of depth to it. I don't know how accurate it all is, but
Tracerhead says it's like a giant Dirty Harry pistol, apparently.
Wicked, cool.
let me get your name right. Marilla says, what kind of brushes do you use generally?
In Photoshop,
I'm guessing, yeah.
I don't know. More and more, I've just started just using the basic round a lot more. I don't know. I don't get hung up on brushes. It's
a workman
easy
never
to,
blames his tools, John.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, and I don't know. They all just make marks, and
that's the most un-artist answer.
You know, you can get hung up on it, and you know, I tend to look at it like, what am I painting? If I'm painting rocks, maybe I'll go for something like chalky with some texture to it. So, let's have a look. Let's grab some brushes.
Or even like, what did you use here, like for the gun?
Man, like lots of things, you know.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing. I kind of just get bored after like 10-15 minutes with a brush and just decide to pick something else and see what it gives me. Let's see. I like things like this, you know, like nice kind of textury things. What else? It's just like grabbing this triangle. It kind of gives this nice soft.
Oh, okay.
Kind of nice watercolory type thing.
Don't want to save. Control S.
It's all good. And then yeah, just whatever I feel like, really. I don't get too hung up on it. And like I say, I've been using just the default round a lot more recently. I just like it for blending and just like lower the flow a little bit. And yeah.
What you mean?
So if I come out of here. Oops. So what I can do is actually none of the menus are there, so I can't even show you. For some reason it's doing this. But basically at the top of your Photoshop you'll see like flow and opacity.
Alright, okay.
I just reduce the flow, and basically all it does is like separate the kind of. It just thins the amount of paint that goes down, so it's nice for blending things.
So you
weird.
just kind of say but even for that piece, so you're just using a combination of many kind of things. Yeah.
Like I say, you could paint the whole thing with a round brush. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't matter. So that's done. That takes kind of half a day, something like that. You know, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. It really depends.
So I suppose you were kind of going to do.
I was going to just show you some others quickly as well, because I'm not going to take you through all of them, but go away. So yeah, we also have some other things. So these are kind of looking at like really basic, busted, old guns as well.
Yeah.
You know, really fragile. You see these metal bands here holding the frame of it together because it's so old. And we've got things like these kind of
that's cool, yeah.
weird Glocks. Again, kind of slightly weird tribal kind of stuff going on, hanging things,
little hanging things you say with physics and all that.
Yeah, so that's kind of how they went down.
I mean, yeah, there's probably this is some cool little designs and stuff in that. But you were kind of, I'm intrigued as to what this little window is here in the middle.
Well, I thought it'd be kind of cool to just like take the same brief almost and try and do a few sketches live and just show you guys how the thumbnailing side of things comes together and how you might start something like this off.
Okay.
Although I seem to be missing a few controls. Something about when we plugged the computer in has slightly changed my display.
Has it?
But you know,
I mean, live telly. You know.
So it goes.
But do you want to take a quick break or anything, or are you okay?
No, I think
to
we're
find
good.
Can you
we will just
find
go with
things?
it. We'll
all
just
right.
go with it.
We'll figure it out as we go along.
I'll just tweak stuff in the brush menu.
Now, a Luger WW2.
So
Is that a real gun? A Luger?
this is a German gun, yeah, Luger, World War II.
As in Lex?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Lex Luger.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to like that guy. So basically, this is how I might start, right? So, for example, the guys might say, check out these sources, you know, like these reference here. I've got them on the right. Sort of these neat little pistols, Lugers, World War II stuff. Even some of this wackier stuff I've just brought across 'cause it's kind of crazy and I don't know, just some stuff like that. And so what I might often do is start with something like a pistol and just black it out so it's just a silhouette, and go from there. And I'll almost just like.
So is that actually a picture of a pistol? It's just
it was literally a picture of a pistol, cut it out, removed anything I didn't want on it, and just like turned it into a silhouette. And so
interesting.
what I might do is then start to play with that.
We have a question here from Qver.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried Krita or Krita?
No.
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 In my opinion, it's the best digital painting program, even better than Photoshop. If you haven't, well, it's free, so it doesn't hurt to try it out.
Cool.
There you go.
Check it out. Thanks.
Any budding concept artists out there?
I mean, that's important, you know. Like, there you go. Like, apparently, there's a really wicked free program out there. Like, and don't get hung up on like. I use Photoshop because. I don't know, just have like for a while. And a lot of guys use it in the studio and stuff like that. So I just kind of used it.
Industry standard.
I don't know. There's things like Manga Studio, stuff like that. They're all really good and they don't cost anything. And they get you started with this stuff. And some of them are even better. Like one thing, Photoshop has never introduced is a symmetry feature, which like all of these other free programs seem to have, and they're amazing. But I don't know. Yeah. Photoshop is not everything. Just use what you're kind of happy with, really. So I'm going to just like mess around. Start to tweak the shape. Sorry for my thing misbehaving a little bit. A bit weird.
So, but this is the type of thing now you do is bring in an actual gun and just kind of use that as the base.
Like I maybe won't use all of it like I have here. I've just brought it in as an example, really. I might just say, well, I like that grip. Like, let's use it as a starting point, you know. Let's have a look. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the idea of like working from abstraction, and it's kind of just this idea of just creating blobs and don't overthink it. Just kind of. Get into it and then cut back in and change the shapes and things, you know.
The idea that there's kind of no bad ideas, kind of almost.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you know, it's like people compare it to clouds, you know. Like when you look at a cloud, you'll see like some people will see like a dog, and someone else will see a Cornish pasty, and. It's subjective. Your mind's eye pictures something, and it's the same with this. Like you'll kind of just put these marks down, these big shapes, these blobs, and eventually something kind of will happen for you. So.
Is this how you generally work?
If it's something like this, where it's like assets and props and things like that, then yeah, often. Just because it's quick and you can just try stuff out nice and fast, you know. So don't overthink it, don't over detail anything. Like stuff at this point doesn't even need to make that much sense.
That's because I was about to ask you, like, in terms of even just
you figure that out later. Like you're just kind of at this point looking for like interesting, cool shapes. So let's do another one, and I'll carve into these.
And so
actually, let's do that now. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping ahead. So what I'd almost do is just because none of this is about light or tone. It's literally just about read. So you know, you might even start to introduce some. Oops. you know, like little cut lines and things.
And just, yeah, again,
Grip
just...
details and stuff, yeah. And sorry, I'm going a bit quick and I'm not overthinking these, I'm just trying to play around.
While you play around, let me see, is there... Odralix says, I'm a novice artist and use Clip Studio Paint. It was helpful for me to hear about Krita. Thanks. No worries. Thank... Ooh. Qvier. Thank that wonderful Twitch commenter. Let me see here. Make a gun. KKRR6 says, make a gun where you can see the bullet rolling around in it. I'm not, but bullets very quick. I mean, that seems tough.
I think he means like a
what, a transparent pistol?
That'd be kind of cool.
There you go.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm not going to do that now because it sounds really.
That sounds a bit intricate.
Yeah, a little bit intricate.
There's a bit
I'm
to
just trying
that.
to be kind of quick.
There's a bit to that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's all good.
Some people talking about the play test, yeah. Look forward to that. But if you're only kind of just jumping on to Worlds Adrift right now and you're unaware as to what it is or who Bossy Studios are, well, we are the developer of Worlds Adrift. You may have heard of some of our other titles, Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread. But yeah, so our upcoming game, Worlds Adrift, you can head to worldsadrift.com/register to register your interest in the game. You get access to the forums. You can create an emblem. You can, I suppose, create an emblem for your alliance, which you can also create. You can read the blog, watch trailers and videos. It's a cavalcade of Worlds Adrift cacophony. So do check that out. So, Qvier, make a gun that shoots puns, John. Make it happen. Alright?
That's pretty wicked.
That's what I want. Make sure you do that.
We will, sure.
Right. Ooh, I like the second one. That's interesting.
Are you looking at which one? This one?
Or, well, yeah, this one there.
Okay, cool.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, you know, you're looking at maybe these old sort of older gun types for shapes and things like that originally, but you know, this is almost turning out like a vector or something, like the handle grip. You know, like don't be afraid to just try stuff. It's going to get shut down sometimes, like, but that's all right. It's your job to just kind of push that a little bit and take a chance while you can. And concept art is that's the beauty of it, is that realistic is this is the time in the project to just try things, just be a bit weird, like don't worry about sort of making everything perfect and
yeah,
have fun with it, you know.
I mean, people are just going off the wall altogether. We're not, we're just kind of messing around here where John is. And some people saying Natsuni says a gun that shoots swords, and KKRR6 says make a gun that shoots guns. This is an interesting one. It's like, do you ever hear of Enter the Gungeon? I'm sure they have a gun in that that's shoots guns, I think, or a or a bullet that shoots guns, or some sort of.
I know Fallout has a gun that shoots junk, so technically, like, if you had a big enough cannon or something, you just load it up with old scrap guns and fire them at someone. Yeah, it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, the Ninjineer says you made a Luger Chris Vector there.
Sweet.
That's it.
It's not a bad summary, really, is it?
Luger
Cross Vector? Yeah, that's fair enough.
He says Chris. I don't know. KRISS.
I think he means cross. Okay.
The Junk Jet, Tracerhead says. I'm guessing that's the name of the gun.
The Fallout gun, yeah. Exactly. Alright, so I'm just going to keep going.
even it's almost like tank-like in how
Yeah.
it's pretty cool actually.
Sweet. Let me just stand my...
Did you use the Luger as reference?
In the originals?
Yeah.
It was highlighted as a gun that was liked by people. I was told, check out a few things, and I just found the things that appealed to me the most. And I've always loved the Luger. Really cool gun. You ever seen Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
This is the gun he's asked to bring back for his. I don't know if that's the thing.
No, that's okay. Don't worry.
For his brother, he wants him to bring back a Luger, and he ends up getting one and shooting himself in the pocket. Do you remember that?
Band of Brothers.
Band
No,
of Brothers?
I haven't seen. I was thinking of what's the other one? I was thinking of Generation Kill.
Oh, that's cool as well.
No, I haven't seen Band of Brothers, and I get berated by many people.
Hope you're keeping score here, guys. There's Star Wars and Band of Brothers.
I know. To be honest, I don't know why I haven't seen Band of Brothers. It's like almost everyone I know who I trust their opinion on telly says it's just brilliant. It's just one of the best TV shows ever.
It's very, very good.
I'll get to it eventually, like everything. It's like I will watch it. But there's new TV like Stranger Things that I have to watch and things like that.
Yeah,
See, the second one has been confirmed.
Apparently so.
Stranger Things 2. Now, I kind of wonder, will they... Well, I don't know. Would you do a different story? Like completely make Stranger Things like just that's the name of it, but we're just gonna...
like kind of like Twilight Zone.
Exactly.
Or yeah, that could be cool.
That would almost fit with those.
Or something.
Kind of like American Horror Story. Yeah. Even go the American Horror Story route. And the same
actors,
cast.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Could be kind of cool. I think a lot of people will want answers.
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to talk about it without spoiling things.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure about the ending. But don't worry.
Okay.
You don't have to be like, no! We won't say anything. Somebody you're just saying you're making a taser gun.
I'm trying to make almost like a mini AK, like a hand AK or something. Hold on.
That's the joys with. Kirk, go away.
What's he doing?
He's done the numbers for letters thing. So he's done 2 Stranger Thing 2. He's put the S's have become 2s. No, Kirk. All right, no.
Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm working fast where I am.
I like the idea of a handheld kind of AK thing you got going on here.
Yeah, well, I know technically a lot of pistols don't have these kind of like sweet magazine style shapes going on, but
this is the joy about Worlds Adrift. You don't have to worry about things like that. The game is about floating islands.
Someone might pull you up on it and be like, that makes no sense, but sometimes you can justify it somehow and get people around to your way of thinking, and so just messing around. Really.
Would you be looking at those little bits as just different kind of grooves?
Yeah, we call them like greebles.
Greeble.
Greebly bits. Just cut lines, little bits of detail, tech and stuff.
Okay.
Might put in some little rivet like pieces on it or something.
So Colm says, what shortcut did you use to extend the canvas size manually?
What did I do? C crop, and just give it a wiggle.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great, but what tends to happen is that I'll start with quite a big canvas, and then you'll do a sheet of these, and from just hours and hours of extending it just becomes this enormous file, and I kind of forget.
Let me see, is there any other questions? If you have any questions about concept art in general, please send them in, because I can only imagine there's a few budding artists amongst a few of the viewers.
So now I'm just taking one that I've already done and just kind of.
All right, okay.
So this
I'm
is
with
what
you.
I mean, kind of about like abstraction stuff, you know. Like let's just try one that's really like, I don't know, a bit different.
So like, yeah, just taking.
Try some different shapes and just don't.
Jesus.
Like this is kind of what I mean, right? So we can just like think of it like clay or something, you know.
All
like,
right.
So you got this blob, and you can just kind of just carve away at it until something kind of interesting happens.
Right. Okay.
So
I suppose, yeah. As I say, it is interesting when you're not what's the word I'm looking for?
I kind of like
Tied
yeah.
to realism, as it were. You know. Obviously, I suppose you're not going to go to Saints Row route and have a dubstep gun or anything like that. But
sure, like a Lucio gun or something.
Yeah. But you can play with the design a little bit.
You can play with the design. Like Worlds has its own kind of cultures and people that have influenced it to this point in the lore. And you know, these are not our world designs. They're going to be slightly different. So they might just think about stuff in a different way, and you kind of just got to think about that.
Cosmic Russell says, do you do all work on Photoshop or some with pen and paper?
I tend to scribble a lot on pen and paper, but generally Photoshop for anything that I know I'm going to need to show people, just in case I need to kind of send stuff off. Or our other concept artist works more with pen and paper, and he'll scan things in. I don't know. I like the digital tools generally. I'll sit in the morning and kind of sketch things and doodle and try and find something, but it's never really showable stuff. It's just for me, like to uncover something, try things out, or maybe if I'm going into 3D with something, I might just sit and kind of block out how I'm going to do that.
I suppose everyone has their own methods and their own ways to kind of do things, really.
Exactly. There's not really one
right way
or wrong way, I think over the years, just watching other concept artists work and stuff, like I used to get so hung up on process and like whether it was the right way to do something. I just don't even care now. Like as long as what you do is cool, or like a good design, in there somewhere, or a bit different, that's what people are looking for. So I don't know what this weird one is. I don't know.
But there's something
kind
there.
Of like sometimes it's just about creating a conversation. Kind of like the idea of this being like some kind of sights or something at the back there.
Oh, okay. And what, like in terms of, I suppose, a concept artist in the video game world, like what role would they kind of play because of, like, like what you're, I suppose, what you're drawing, what you're kind of putting together isn't kind of what's going to be going in the game, as it were.
No.
But then it kind of also is.
You're like, yeah, I suppose you're trying to set a tone for something, maybe a style for something. People will use your designs, like, but 3D guys will always have some fun with it, like when they get their hands on it and change some things. Like one of our guys, Ian, is just like brilliant at really taking what I do and fleshing it out and making it that little bit more believable. He finds these little areas he can put more detail in, and yeah, like it's a collaborative effort. Like, but you're looking to inspire the team to come up with something that maybe hasn't been seen before. Or I'm going to do that thing again.
Take a.
Just extend the canvas and write that down. So let me know how long we've got. We're getting through.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more kind of.
I'm all good. I'm happy enough. Like,
do an
groove.
absolutely mental one. Do one that would probably never, like a mental pistol.
Never make it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Let's have a look.
Give me like a massive, I don't know, what's that part of the gun called?
Big old barrel.
There you go. Give me a massive barrel. Probably should have known that. So Callum, what's the main role of concept artists in the later stages of games development?
It sometimes can come down to things like mood and lighting and things like that, where, say, the game is a thing now, but I don't know, you're trying things out in the 3D space and in the game space, but they maybe want to just try out some lighting scenarios or see what a particular level might look like, but totally messed up, or you're going to get things like that, and also things will always kind of be implemented in an MMO type setup, so they're constantly looking at new ideas and new things, new content, like it's always going to be like that, but yeah, you get like different things really. I still find myself doing lots of props and less environments at this point. Like I feel like that stuff is kind of more established,
right,
but just whatever really, like lots of things, and sometimes when there isn't anything, they just put you on things like graphics and
but I suppose in this day and age,
things,
this day and age, when I don't know, when is a game stop development?
Absolutely. Okay, let's have a think about this. Like I want to do something like separated through the core.
I want something off the wall,
kind of like some kind of railgun type thing, but like a pistol full.
Chris Law says minigun barrel.
Yeah.
I suppose it's hard to do in 2D.
Kind of could do some reference. Let's try and do something.
Someone, Tracerhead mentions a pepper box. You'll have to excuse my ignorance now. I don't know.
I'll explain that one. I want to know what that is. I don't know what that is.
He says a minigun barrel would be a pepper box.
Okay, because it peppers.
They never knew that was what it was called. The middle gun looks like one of the ones from Halo. Isn't the middle gun here? Kind of. It looks a little kind of
what would you call it? Like a foreigner or something? Like, is that what it's called?
Oh, I like that, John. I like the little.
I think it's
kind of westerny.
I'm thinking like, what would it look like if there was some kind of electric, kind of, I don't know.
Tracerhead says it's an 18th century pistol, the pepper box pistol.
You told me to go really weird, and I just don't know what to do now. It's always like that. Let's try and add some kind of cool grip thing or something.
Okay, like a little. Tracerhead says multiple barrels that fire all at once. He wants the king of guns.
King of guns. It's weird. I don't think I've ever designed live before.
There you go. What's that kind of middle square?
I'm going to try and work on some kind of like revolver barrel, like that kind of is going to sit in this little fill area here or something.
But yeah, this is generally like those other sketches we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You would do something like this.
Yeah.
No, because it's quite a cool way to work in that you're.
It's really fun. I like this stage, and in a way, I'm probably overthinking a little bit because I'm live and sort of,
I suppose
looking to kind of have something cool for you guys. But I don't know, the best thing is just get your tunes on, get some nice reference, get some inspiration going, and just really settle into this. Don't overthink stuff, and just have fun at this point, really.
Yeah, the little revolver barrel is cool. Kush Bluntsla says, "Are you going to show off anything else or just weapons today?" Yeah, just these.
Just weapons today.
Just these pistols. And and we're on our last one. But yeah, I hope
I'd love to show you guys some more stuff, like some point. We've got some really cool things to show you.
Yeah, definitely.
And as soon as we get the nod to kind of, you know, tease a couple of cool things, we will, I'm sure, you know.
So is that white space? Would you see that white space as?
I was trying to find some negative space, like it's almost like going to be 2 barrels or something when I'm done with it, like.
Right. Okay.
But I don't know how it would work yet. I'm just making it up, and
Well, to be fair,
I don't know how practical it is. But I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, generally speaking, it's kind of from what I gather is like there. Yeah, at this stage, it is just bashing out and just.
for sure, yeah, and like, you know, I don't know. You think about stuff like, right, well, I've added that revolver barrel, so now we need to kind of make that make sense. So how the bullet's going to be fed from point A to like somewhere up here where the firing mechanism would be,
I'm with you.
Out, you know. So I kind of haven't done a good job of that yet. So we need to think about possibly, you know, I imagine they'd probably slide up and kind of get into
Magic, John.
Yeah, totally. And if you don't know, just cover it up in some kind of housing and say it's internal firing mechanism. It's fine.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Drifter Dusty says, "What tunes do Bossa listen to in the office?" What do you listen to when you're arting, John?
I enjoy soundtracks to games and films and things like that.
Is it the more does the instrumental stuff? It's easier.
Yeah, but like it gives you a flavour as well, you know. Like if you're kind of designing like a slightly fantasy-like environment or something, you know, you get that Skyrim soundtrack on, you know, you feel really inspired. Like you feel like you're starting to be in that world, and you know, it comes through in the work. You know, I love the Destiny soundtrack. It's one of the best soundtracks out there. I don't know, lots of stuff, man. But generally, yeah, movie soundtracks, game soundtracks, things like that. I'll listen to some tunes now and then as well.
Technochromatic says, "How long have you been a concept artist?"
Professionally, a year. But I was kind of doing my own like private learning and tuition and stuff. I don't know. I just sort of would watch YouTube and practice like hell for about a year and a half before that. So not too long really. Not too long at all really, I suppose. But professionally, a year. I've been with Boss for a year.
That is badass, John. I like that.
Sorry, I'm just.
I mean, yeah, you did that in about 4 minutes. I couldn't do that in 4 years. Drifter Dusty says the Fallout soundtrack is always fun.
Fallout, yeah, it's a wicked soundtrack. I really like the Fallout 4 soundtrack.
Does it kind of, well, the thing I like about it is I suppose I would gravitate more towards BioShock than Fallout, but it's that kind of like old timey kind of stuff. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Adam Regas says, "Yeah, John was born and came out with a pencil and some paper."
My parents would probably tell a similar story. Yeah, I've been drawing a long time. You know, just not well though. Like, I don't know. One thing when I kind of finally decided that I wanted to work in games, you know, I'd been kind of doing sort of stylistic weird things for a while, but you know, it took a bit of practicing, you know, fundamental stuff to really kind of. There's a high demand for realism in video games these days, and stylized things as well, depending on where you are, you know. Like, but I set out trying to kind of really improve my fundamentals first and foremost. Like, look at the environment, look at people, look at objects and materials, and just, I don't know, yeah, just learning like that, and just trying to kind of reshape my art based around this stuff and the demand that is in the industry. So that took some time, like got rid of some bad habits. I used to kind of very much like that kind of naive, like illustrative, kind of almost like childlike kind of sort of almost like kids' books illustration style. I used to kind of work a lot more like that. But yeah, you can learn, man. Anyone can do this.
Right. Technochromatic says, I've been trying for 7 years. I've been finding it hard to get into the industry. Well, don't give up. Follow your dreams, Technochromatic, and you will get into this industry. John, I think that just about does it.
Let's leave it there.
There are some badass guns.
It's not the weirdest, but
I am quite like that's. Show me the original, the actual one that you kind of brought in.
Okay.
I mean, look at that.
So
there's quite a change.
You start with a Luger and some reference. Don't overthink, have fun, and you can come up with some weird stuff. They seem to get big.
We haven't passed the watershed yet.
I didn't swear, did I?
No, you didn't. No, you said stuff is what you said. That's okay. So thank you very much to everyone for watching. That just about does it for this week's Twitch broadcast. There will probably more than likely be a archive of this on youtube.com/Worlds Adrift probably next week, so look out for that. Of course, if you are interested in Worlds Adrift, head to worldsadrift.com/register, where you can register your interest in the game. You get access to forums, you can set up an alliance, you can create an emblem for said alliance. You can, what else can they do, John? They can read the blog, they can look at videos. It's amazing.
It's endless.
Endless Worlds Adrift for you, okay? So that just about does it. I've been Colm Ahern. He has been Jon Betts. Google Jon Betts and you can look at all this man's fantastic art.
Just type concept art, Jonathan Betts.
Type the best concept artist in the world, and this man's stuff will come up.
And you'll get Craig Mullins or Jamie Jones.
But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Next Tuesday, before I go, next Tuesday join us, because we'll have a special kind of, not the normal Thursday slot. Just follow Worlds Adrift on Twitter or Facebook. I'm not entirely sure of the time yet. But we will be streaming some of the playtest. Exciting! So look out for that, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.